This year we celebrate the 60th anniversary of the creation of one of sport's most inspirational and enduring organisations. Founded in 1964, the Injured Jockeys Fund, through its 3 centres of excellence, has helped thousands of jockeys and their families with medical, financial and mental well-being support. It is the brainchild of former jockey and journalist, the late Lord Oaksey.
Anybody who rides any amount over any period gets falls, and if you fall, if you hit the ground enough times, 30 miles an hour or so, you break something sooner or later. But I've broken my back. That sounds the worst injury that I'd had up till now, until the other day when Capino seems to have managed to put his foot in my spleen. I didn't even know I had a spleen before.
It was Lord Oaksey's personal experience of the hazards of race riding that meant he knew at first hand the perils and potential consequences of long-term injury. He was convinced that racing could do more to help its own.
John was this charismatic figure. He was the inspiration to it and remained it. And he kept his sort of ethos that basically you looked after your comrades. And that's what the Injured Jockeys Fund needs to be and still is.
Oaksey's letter to The Sporting Life raised his concerns about the long-term implications of injury to jockeys Tim Brookshaw and also Paddy Farrell, whose weighing room colleague Jack Berry rallied to help.
We jump jockeys, we thought, well, if we could buy him a bungalow. So we got a bucket and asked the announcer if they would say that we were going to come round with this bucket at Wetherby to collect for him. I promise you, there was people queuing up. It must have been half a furlong long to put money in this bucket, and bookmakers and owners and even stable staff and everybody was putting money in. And that was the nucleus of the Injured Jockeys Fund.
I first got involved in 1969, and at that stage the Injured National Hunt Jockeys Fund had about £35,000 on the stock exchange and about 10 injured jockeys, and it was still in its very early stages. I was a solicitor. I had quite a lot of other responsibilities, but I had this little charity, and I met John through that. We ended up working together over it for 40 years.
Oaksey House, that was the first one. Thankfully, that was my thinking of, because we once went to Tenerife, and my son got injured, and with his insurance money, he bought a little complex in Tenerife, and it was like sheltered accommodation. And I went there one Christmas, and it was 2 foot of snow at home. I was lucky to get there, and he was swimming around in this warm pool. I thought, well, cracky, that is brilliant, that. So I thought, well, we could do with something like this. And I was a trustee at the time of the Injured Jockeys Fund, and it took me 3 years to get it passed that we needed this.
We started the Tenerife holidays, we started things like that, and then people realised what we did. And then, of course, when we built Oaksey House, we got the jockeys on board because they realised for the first time how much it was their fund. It just went from there.
It is an amazing charity. We genuinely do try to make a difference, and I think we do achieve in making a difference to an awful lot of people. There are some great success stories where the Injured Jockeys Fund is able to help people and make things better. We're thanking our team, we're thanking our donors, we're thanking our visitors and our volunteers, and importantly, we're thanking our beneficiaries for being part of this amazing family.
For jockeys, it's amazing that we've got somewhere like this. I can't imagine not having it. I honestly don't know what I would have done, and I definitely know I wouldn't have been back as quick as I'm hoping anyway. Nutritionists, physios, personal trainers. I've done work with every single one that works here through the time that I've been off, and they've all been great, and they all want me to be back as quick as I can, and yeah, I honestly can't tell you how good it's been.
Yeah, so I'm the strength and conditioning coach here at Jackbury House, and also I'm sort of the lead sports scientist across the RGF site, so just ensuring that we have a high level of service provision across the board, and that we're also investing in sort of research and development and things of that nature. Yeah, no, it's good to see the flat jockeys in, working hard, doing their pre-season block just before the turf season kicks off, so that's good.
One of the biggest arms of the Injured Jockeys Fund is, well, we call it the welfare arm, but actually we look after, if you think about any individual or anybody who has held a licence or has got a licence now, we look after them psychosocially, financially, pastorally, physically and emotionally. So all of those things. So a holistic approach to any individual that falls under the auspices of the charity.
I think one of the key things here has been the team. We've had a team here of tremendously good people who stayed with us, and I hope they stay for a very long time, because that, you know, you can have all the kit and everything, but you've got to have the people who do it, and the team here have been wonderful.
This is my hometown, and I mean, I was down in Lambourne in Berkshire for 30 years, but to come back here and have this opportunity back home, luckily Moulton has embraced the facility, and yeah, it's great to be part of the community.
One of the things that we really try and stress is that actually, you know, we're a family. This charity is like a family, and we will look after you, and you will be taken care of, whatever the problem is. So, yes, I'm very proud to work for it.
From Jack Berry House, we've had these incredible stories of people we get them better, and there are these facilities that do get them better. I mean, Derek Fox, you know, being got better just in time to win the Grand National. You know, you don't get many stories like that.
Derek Fox for Lucinda Russell, the one for Arthur combination. They're going to win it again with Korak Rambler.
That we're trying to have the three centres sort of running, albeit different, but the same at the same time. So we've got that cohesion within the full team. So we feel like one big family, but we've got three little individual homes, as it were.
From somebody who wasn't sort of really from a horse racing background before, what I've learned over the 5 years sort of from working through is truly the impact that the Injured Jockeys Fund has across horse racing as a whole. It's just the impact across the industry that it makes is phenomenal, and then that makes me then very proud to have the role that I have here, and then to be able to help as many people as we can.
If you're a jump jockey, you're going to go to hospital, and you're going to go and see your friends in hospital, and you automatically will.
They're lucky jockeys, but they deserve to be. As John Frankham always says, it's the only sport where an ambulance follows the sportsman.
There are so many people that have helped the IJF along the way, and Sean McGee did a lovely book celebrating 50 years of the IJF, and there were some wonderful letters in there, you know, from people who would run a darts match or a skittles match and they raised £18 and 10 shillings. But it's all those little things that add up over the years, and it never ceases to amaze me just how generous people are when it comes to helping people in general, never mind jockeys.
Being a jockey is a great way of life. It's a brilliant way of life. It's a tough way of life. But this is one of the proudest moments I have to open Peter O'Sullivan House.
The IJF is so important to jockeys riding today for their support, obviously for their injuries, and it's something that I feel very proud of. I feel that we're very lucky to have it. I think I even appreciate it more now that I'm retired than I did when I was riding. But it is a phenomenal charity. You look at Oaksey House in Lambourne, Jack Berry House, and obviously Sir Peter O'Sullivan House in Newmarket. We are so lucky to have those facilities. I wish we had them a little bit sooner. I wish I was still riding because of that, but it is so important to the jockeys riding today.
From John Oaksey onwards, the fund has attracted people like that, and I can't praise AP highly enough, quite apart from the fact that Princess Royal obviously likes him. And she made a lot of difference to us. The Queen Mum was wonderful to have, but Princess Anne, as I still tend to call her, took an active interest. And got involved and was just a joy to deal with. Absolute joy.
I've worked in lots of other sports. No other sport has anything like the Injured Jockeys Fund. One thing this sport is brilliant at is looking after its own. And if I'm honest, I dread on terrestrial television having to talk about an injured jockey, but I know that the IJF is there with its unrivaled care and compassion.
We're a national charity. And that's what we've become, and I think and we've professionalised our arrangements over the years, including these rehab centres, which, you know, any jockey who is repaired and comes on television, he or she will tell you that they owe a lot to Jackberry House, to Oaksey House, Peter and Sutton House, wherever.
And I've really enjoyed looking back at the history of the Injured Jockeys Fund, how it all came about with Lord Oaksey at the helm, and to think that Chicky is still right at the forefront, whatever the weather these days, makes it all the more special, really.
When you think, when it started off in 1964, John had this idea, and mainly because he had this wonderful thought that you should never embarrass people by shaking a bucket. You should offer people something to buy, and either they can say yes or no, but they, you know, there's no embarrassment about it. And John worked tirelessly. You know, when I said to him at the end, what are you going to be most proud of what you've done? And he said, oh, by far, the Injured Jockeys Fund. And he did go from John O'Groats to Land's End all the time, raising money tirelessly, really.
I just think the foresight for those men to have done what they did in the time they did is just an amazing thing. It's just, we're just so lucky to have it. And I appreciate, it's only now I appreciate how lucky we are to have them. I didn't realise in my time riding the work that those men did. And they are not going to be around forever, so there are going to be some of us that are going to have to try and step up and keep it going and keep what they have set up, to keep their legacy to the high standard that they have set it.
Anyone who has ever ridden in a race or enjoyed watching it understands that that thrill comes with inherent risks. Most of the time, when a jockey falls, they get straight back up again. But when they can't, the Injured Jockeys Fund is there to catch them and help get them back on their feet. It's been doing exactly that for 60 years, and with your support will continue to do so for decades to come.